With over 40 years of boat building experience, the Parks family welcomes you to the Blue Wave factory.
Every great product has to start with a thought. That thought turns into a design, and that design turns into whatever it takes to build that product. In the case of boats or fiberglass products, first we start with a plug, which is an exact replica of a finished product. We use high quality materials in all of our mold building process. Then we do an extensive steel skeletal structure over the entire mold itself to hold its shape for life. As you can see here, we have braced this top cap mold to where it will hold its shape for 10, 20, 30 years to come. A lot of our competitors kind of don't invest this much up front into the molds or the design aspect and are constantly having to either replace molds or even replace boats in the field. I have 100% confidence that with the way that we build our molds and the steel structures that become the backbone of our molds will hold this shape for life, and every customer that gets a product built out of this mold will be the same shape that is proven and ready to go to the water. The stringer system or the grid system of any boat is the backbone of that boat. It will support the structure of the hull, it will support the structure of the top cap or the floor, so it has to be sound, 100% bulletproof, and that's why every grid that we build has certain aspects to it that make it unique and make it to where it's going to last a lifetime. When we design our grid, not only do you have tons of structure designed in for full strength, but we do some very unique things that other people seem to have forgotten, such as when you do a grid system for a liner boat, if you notice that the cross sections, at each cross section, it breaks the lateral strength of the grid. Now, what we've done is we go back as a secondary application and we add back in 1/4 inch fiberglass panels at each broken intersection. That adds back in the lateral strength of your stringer system, just like I-beams in the support of a roof. If an I-beam is broken at any point, it loses its strength. By adding in these secondary panels, we complete the strength of our I-beams running down the length of our grid or stringer system. Very important, and it just backs up the thought process and the quality that Blue Wave puts from step one to the very last step of that boat shipping out the door to the customer. I'm Stephen Parks, and I'd like to introduce you to Blue Wave Boats. It's been founded and owned by the Parks family since 1992. We specialize in building custom, high-performance, quality fishing boats. So there is no more having to settle. Each Blue Wave boat ranks high in every category that matters, from the speed, the quality, the performance, and the features built into the boat. And we've loaded these boats with everything you're going to need to make your day on the water a success every time. As the boat continues down the build process, every hull in a Blue Wave, from our 16-footer up to our 24-foot flagship models, get the same processes. 100% hand laid, which gives you the lightest but strongest manufacturing process out there. It's a little bit more labor intensive, but we believe that your hull, where it's taken all your impacts, vibration, beaching, everything like that, needs that little bit of added strength. And of course, where our guys are using our boats in the shallow waters or looking to have the best fuel economy, you want to cut out as much weight as possible. So here we've done, right on top of our gel coat layer, we have done a skin coat, very light material to make sure that we can get out every imperfection right next to the gel coat. After a supervisor QCs that, make sure that all the imperfections next to the gel coat layers are completely taken care of, we go back in with a spray core over the entire side profile of the boat. That adds strength, adds stiffness to the outer walls, and it also is a print blocker. As we go with our strength building layers, our thicker layers, they build heat throughout the process and can cause the actual layers within the fiberglass to print through onto the gel coat. So we want to make sure that the side profile, which is right there for everybody to see on the boat, is as beautiful and flawless as possible. After the skin coat and the coring on the sides is applied, we go back in and we line every chime throughout the entire boat with fiberglass reinforcement. This is continuous strands of glass, approximately 1/4 inch thick, running the entire length of the boat. So if you got a 24-foot boat, you have over 24-foot long strands ran in every chime. This is very similar to putting rebar inside of concrete. Concrete by itself is a hard product, but you add rebar to it to help strengthen and hold it together. and you got a product that's going to last for years and years. Same principle. We do this throughout the backbone of the boat and make sure that the entire boat has a rigid, solid structure. By us using fiberglass on top of fiberglass, you get a bond that will not come apart. If we were to, say, put putty in those chimes right there, you have something that's just relied on a mechanical bond, and should anything ever go wrong on the bottom of that boat, it take a hit that could crack or disturb that chime, the entire chime itself, seeing as how it's just mechanically bonded, could come off and rip that entire section off the bottom of the boat. We don't want that to happen on any of ours, so we choose to use this fiberglass strands throughout so that we get that good chemical and mechanical bond. So this is the area where we're going to cut to length the entire rolls of glass that build the holes. We use various layers from chop strand mat to 24-ounce woven rovens to ultra strong stitch and unilateral glass. These come on rolls 50 inches wide, the length of whatever boat we're dealing with, so that we know exactly at every point in the boat the thickness and control the weight and the quality of each boat by doing this. So if you compare our boats to a competitor's boat, you'll see hundreds of pounds of difference in the hull weights. It's strictly this process, which relies a little bit more on labor and takes more time to do it this way, versus a faster and cheaper process that adds more weight to each boat, so you can't quite go as shallow, or you spend more on fuel because it takes more horsepower to push the boat if it's heavier. So as we go to that bulk process of the laminate, they're taking those layers of glass, they're laying it in the structural key points within the boat, and they're working it out by hand, utilizing a squeegee method to remove all excess material out of the boat, very similar to the way that race boats are built. So when you're done, you have just the amount of resin on top of the layers of glass that give you the engineered thickness and strength that every Blue Wave gets without the excess resin. So our boats are going to be lighter and stronger than the competition every day of the week.
I'm Stephen Parks, and I'd like to introduce you to Blue Wave Boats. It's been founded and owned by the Parks family since 1992. We specialize in building custom, high-performance, quality fishing boats. So there is no more having to settle. Each Blue Wave boat ranks high in every category that matters, from the speed, the quality, the performance, and the features built into the boat. And we've loaded these boats with everything you're going to need to make your day on the water a success every time.
Once the bulk layup of the entire 100% hand-laid hull is completed, and we've previously built the stringer grid system with all the engineered specs and safety and quality that we've got, we're now going to merge the two. And what we've got in our grid system, I pointed out a few of the aspects when it was upside down so you could see how it was built. But now that all that's hidden, here's what you got. On our boat, we have where the entire grid system is bonded to the boat itself, not only 2 foot up the sidewall, but all the way across this transom as well. The Gusset system is a 2-tier system. Not only is it extra wide, you have one that runs all the way to the top, supporting the top level of the transom, and you got the second one running midway, supporting the bottom load of the transom, which is engineered pretty much for the same height as the motorboat holes, so that you get the maximum amount of strength backing your motor, whether it's got a 10-inch, 12-inch jack plate, it's 150 to 300 horsepowers. This is the most extensive grid and stringer system in the industry, backed by a lifetime structural warranty that can help you sleep at night. Now, not only do you have all this transom support, but whereas the competition typically only has the 2 stringers running down the inside of the boat as the backbone, we're in the 24 Pure Bay, and we've engineered 4 total stringers into this boat. So you have the 2 that are running down the center of the boat, and you have the 2 on the complete outside. Not only does that give you twice as much as any of the competitors out there on the support of your stringer and your cockpit floor, but it also allows for a 360-degree bond around the entire outside perimeter of the boat, instead of some stringer systems which just tie in at 2 to 3 points down the side of the boat. So we actually have enough foam inside of our grid system from our 16-foot up to our 24-foot boat to make each boat virtually unsinkable. Now, we've said this for years, and we actually proved it when we took a boat off the line. We cut that boat in half, and we loaded it 1,000 pounds over the capacity rating of the boat, and both pieces still floated. But this boat is virtually unsinkable in almost any condition. When we build any of our liner boats, the STLs, the Evolutions, the Pure Bays, we're doing 100% composite boats. So in our top cap, we use certain aspects like compressed PVC for great strength and screw retention. We use honeycomb to cut down on weight and have an awesome compression strength. And we use these in key points throughout the boat to add stiffness and support where needed and to be a complete wood replacement. We use some of the best material on the market, from cloth and stitch mat, the honeycomb corin, the compressed PVCs. We don't cut any corners on the boats. When it comes to the storage boxes, each box that you open up on our liner boats will be a liner finished box. Now these boxes are solid fiberglass. You don't have any plastic or cheap, real thin boxes or anything like that. These become actually integrated into the top cap to support, to offer that liner finish and offer rigid support to various areas throughout the boat. Another unique thing that we do is any box that's not a rod box up in the front, we will completely insulate and drain overboard. So we're giving you that choice. Again, we're not making you choose that this is a storage box or this is a fish box. We give you every storage box up here is insulated and drained overboard so that you can utilize it for whether your family needs more storage on the boat or you get into a large school of fish and you need that extra room in the ice box. Now at this point, when we're going to bond the cap to the hole in the grid, this is again where having the 4 stringers throughout the boat is more important than having the 2 like our competition, because every flat area created by a stringer is another point that we can bond the cap to the grid. So we actually have more surface area on the top of our cap to bond it than anybody else in the industry. Now we're going to actually fit them together, and this is where it comes into play that every mold has to hold its shape, because you have 3 separate fiberglass parts being built: the hull, the cap, and the grid. Now if those molds lose their shape, or one loses its shape and the others don't, they no longer fit together quite right, and a customer will end up with a boat that is kind of tweaked or forced together rather than match fitted together like every single Blue Wave.
I'm Stephen Parks, and I'd like to introduce you to Blue Wave Boats. It's been founded and owned by the Parks family since 1992. We specialize in building custom, high-performance, quality fishing boats. So there is no more having to settle.
Each Blue Wave boat ranks high in every category that matters, from the speed, the quality, the performance, and the features built into the boat.
And we've loaded these boats with everything you're going to need to make your day on the water a success every time.
As the boat's completed throughout the line, we've got the new black chrome graphics that go on our liner boats. We've got everything getting ready for the final rigging and cleanup and QC of the boat. We go through an extensive QC process to where the boat is checked not only at each substation by each crew leader, but also the final time by the quality control manager, and then lastly by one of the family members. They do everything in our power to make sure that the boat, as it leaves the factory, is exactly the way we would want our boat built, and the detail and the care that we would want in our boat. So we kind of come full circle. Every boat starts with an idea, and that idea becomes a design. Well, the idea that our customers have given us is to make each boat where they can specify and customize it to the way that each boat has a custom feel to it. So you'll start seeing the decals and the color schemes and the driver's seat options and some of the built-in features directed towards the way that the customers nowadays have really started using their boats. It's not used for just one specific use anymore. A boat has to be versatile. It has to be able to function in different environments. So as our designs have evolved, we've done things to a hardcore fishing boat to give it some comfort and some family aspects as well. Just like, say, this flip seat. You know, you have a hidden seat for carrying multiple passengers. You have, exclusive to Blue Wave, some neat armrests that come down, which is really great for comfort and extremely good for small children. But you can still fold them up and push it down, and you have a fiberglass surface here which is unhindered for a fishing platform. You know, you couple that with like the new Cyclone Seating, which is exclusive to Blue Wave, bucket seats that you can lean against like a leaning post or comfortably sit up in with a backrest. They double slide. You can slide them apart, you can slide them forward and backwards, you can spin them 360 degrees. The drain systems in our boats are custom and remove all the water out of the floor because the drains themselves are recessed just a slightly below floor level.
Another exclusive feature to Blue Wave is our 3-inch Pro Series drain in some of our liner boats. This is a large 3-inch drain that when you pull it, it allows everything in the live well to be flushed out without fear of clogging up a drain.
So we've built in a ton of standard features in the boats, lots that customers don't even know about, that give this boat more bang, more value added than any boat on the market. Again, we're not the cheapest, but we're certainly not the most expensive, but we do offer you the most value for your dollar in every category that matters. We're producing some of the highest performance, custom looking, feature loaded boats on the market.